give you full funding. You must submit financial documents covering at least the deficit before the I-20 document can be issued. The school will let you know what your deficit is. It is important to note that a full tuition scholarship does not equate a full scholarship. With a full tuition scholarship, you will need to provide proof of funds for your living expenses and health insurance. In some instances, you will need to pay an enrollment deposit as well. The enrollment deposit is your commitment to attend the school. Some schools will refund the enrollment deposit if your visa is denied. Now, once you have received your I-20, it is time to process your visa. While I was recording this, a student asked whether they need to sign the I-20 document and send it back to the school. No, you just have to sign it and then use it to process your visa. Now, once you receive your I-20, you can begin processing your visa. Here are the steps to complete before your visa interview. Step 1, you have to complete the DX1C form, which is the visa application form. Step 2, you have to pay the visa fee. This fee is also called the MRV fee. You must pay it before scheduling a visa interview appointment. Step 3, you have to book a visa interview appointment. Step 4, you have to pay the service fee. This fee must be paid before your visa interview appointment. If you don't pay it before your visa interview, your visa will be denied. Hi everyone, welcome to today's live session. If you're new here, my name is Shaibu. So today I want to know how your applications are going, have gone so far in terms of decisions, whether you have received admissions and funding and stuff like that. And also, if you have questions about that, I am here to answer them for you. Uh, Before we get into those things, there are a couple of announcements that I want to pass on to you before we actually start. So the first announcement is the fact that I have created a study abroad course because some of you have been asking me for this, for a while now, and so I had to, set some time aside to work on this. And so, yes, I've created a study abroad course for anyone who doesn't understand the process, or even the people who think they understand the process. This is going to teach you to become an expert, right? It's everything that I know, right? So I've put everything down, and then I've made a couple of, like, a lot of videos actually to cover everything that you need to know. And so, yeah, if you want to study abroad and you want to know everything, one of the questions that I usually get from students has to do with the fact that they have received admission, but then they don't know how to get funding and stuff like that. But the reality is that most of the time, everything starts, from the application. Most of everything actually depends on the application that you have already submitted. So that is where you start. You have to make sure you start well. You have to make sure your application materials are very competitive. You have to make sure you do all the right things. If you have to send cold emails to find out about funding, you have to do that before you even apply. Don't apply and then start looking for funding, right? And yeah, like I always say, there are funding options outside outside your departments, in some cases, but it is not every school that is like that. And also, those funding, they are very difficult to get, honestly. Like, sometimes it depends on your background. It depends on, yeah, whether you are on campus or not. Like, all these things can actually play a role. And so the best option is always to make sure you get funding from your department all the time. That is the best option for you. Most of these outside scholarships, outside funding, they might not actually be full funding, right? They might not be full GA, because sometimes they need you to work like 10 hours for them, right? And 10 hours, yeah, if you're lucky, they might waive your tuition for you, but at the end of the day, you still have a lot of deficits, right, that you have to take care of. So the ideal thing is always make sure you get funding from your department. And how do you do that? By making sure you have made sure they have funding, right? That is the first thing. And then also by submitting a competitive application, right? So this is very, very important, right? So, yeah, I don't like the idea of charging students money and then show them how, like, apply to schools for them. Because if I want to do something for you, I would have to set aside, like for one person I'll probably spend maybe, I don't know, a lot of hours depending on the program, because for some programs you need to spend a lot more time trying to explore funding or opportunities and all. Because yeah, if let's say you want to do something like animal, I don't know, animal science or something, yeah, that is what a program that you may have to do a lot of research to make sure you find a program that is good for you, that has funding and all of that. So yeah, and so what I do is to teach you how to do it. I don't want to, because yeah, my time is so expensive. Like I, PhD, somebody doing my research, like I don't have the time at all. So yeah, uh it is just not feasible for me to want to do that kind of thing, right? So the best option is to teach you how to do it, and that is why I created this course for anyone who wants to learn the study abroad process. And you can also teach other people by going through the course, right? Yeah, the second thing is about the video that I posted this morning on the ShaiPod. So that one has to do with the Mastercard scholarship. And the Mastercard scholarship, it is very competitive. Yeah, you get so many people applying, and then they only select a few people. And the few people, there are certain things that you have to meet. Your leadership experiences, community service, your GPA, like all of these things, right? So for those who are interested in it, yeah, I made that video so that you will learn from those who have gone through the process, right? The scholarship is very juicy. You get everything, they take care of everything for you. But the reality is that it's very difficult. But it is for some people, right? So I always want to be clear when it comes to these things, let you know that okay, yeah, these are all scholarships that you can explore. But yeah, they are, if you are ready, yeah, then you have to put in the work. So you can watch that interview with Abdul, and then you can learn from his experiences. So those are the two announcements that I wanted to share with you before we get into today's live session. So I will go to the comment section to make sure I have things to answer. And okay, where do I? Okay, so yeah, let's get into today's business. Those of you who submitted applications and have been waiting, right? um what have you received so far in terms of feedback from the school? Have you received funding and admission and stuff like that? uh for those of you who have not received anything, like if let's say you got only admission and you didn't get any funding and that kind of thing, yeah, you can begin looking for funding options or outside the camp, outside your department, right? You can, that is something you can do now. You can start working on those things. But if I will give you an advice, I will not tell you to apply for the visa if you have not received something concrete, right? You have to make sure you receive something before you think about processing your visa. This is very, very important. And I had an interview with Samuel, who didn't get funding from his department, but then he got funding outside his department. So you can watch that interview. um the thing about Samuel's story is that his department kind of promised him funding, right? They told him there are funding opportunities, and like the departments can fund him, like, in a way. Not like they didn't tell him like 100% they are going to, but they said they were waiting for some money from the school and stuff like that. At the end of the day, he got to campus only for him to find out that they don't have funding, which means that if he had not gotten funding outside his department, he would have struggled. Like, he would have struggled a lot, right? So those are some of the things, right? Make sure you get the funding before you come, right? Make sure you get an offer, right? So yeah. um and if let's say, I always want to get into the future a little bit, because yeah, nothing is guaranteed. Sometimes you do everything, you get it, sometimes things will not work out, right? So if for some reasons you do everything and then things don't work out, right, my recommendation will be to try again. But then this time around, you have to improve everything, because once you once it is your dream to study abroad, it will happen. That's just the way it is. It will happen. It might just take a bit of time, but it will happen. So yeah, if things don't work out, it's not a big deal. You have to understand that there are thousands of people who apply, like thousands of people, and the schools, they only select a few people. So if you apply and then you don't get it, it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean it will not work out, eventually. It doesn't mean you are a terrible person. It just means, yeah, it wasn't your time, and there were people who submitted something stronger than you. So now you have to go back and then do your homework and try to submit something very competitive. That's the thing. That, when I interviewed Daniel, right? Daniel's story is an amazing one, because he used an agent, he went and then he was denied, and then he came back and he had to, do everything on his own. It took him 3 years, but eventually he got full GA, and then he came to the US, right? So sometimes, yeah, it might delay a little bit, but it's a competitive process. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, right? It is not like as soon as you apply, they are going to give you funding, like all these automatic scholarships. And no, 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 no. you know okay, this is automatic scholarship that I think I need to. So, there are some schools where they will say, oh, they give this scholarship to all students when once they are admitted. So the first thing is you have to be admitted, and then once you're admitted, they give you this automatic scholarship. But the reality is that those scholarships are not scholarships you even think about or you focus on. Those are like the thousand, $2,000 scholarships. Those ones are not scholarships. They don't do anything, right? They don't do anything. So the if you want if you want funding that is going to take care of even half of your cost of attendance, that those scholarships there, or those assistantships, they are never automatic. It depends on your application materials, right? You have to work so hard, like so hard. Your personal statement is about putting everything about you together in a story, right? Your resume is supposed to highlight your experiences, right? And then your transcript should show that you are intelligent. If your transcript doesn't show that you are intelligent, which means that if your GPA is not good enough, then you have to do other things, right, to prove that you are intelligent. And what are those other things? Take the GRE. People will say, "Oh, GRE is hard." Yes, GRE is very hard. It takes a lot of devotion, dedication to it, right? But the reality is that, yes, you are coming here to study. So people are taking it every day. People are putting in, stronger applications. And so, yeah, yeah, it's just the way it is, right? You don't have to take the GRE if your GPA is good, right? If you have a GPA of 3.5, then if you don't get funding, then it means that you probably applied to the wrong school, or maybe you were chasing all these free application fees, and so it was competitive, and so some people with better GPAs got the upper hand over you, right? So then you have to go back and then try and work on all of these little things, right? You don't have to take the GRE. But if your GPA is below 3.5, and then you're applying to a program that is very competitive, then you have to think about, you probably need to take the GRE. That's just the way it is. University of Maine, they have an economics program. They will tell you that they don't require the GRE so long as your GPA is at least 3.5, right? So if your GPA is below 3.5 and you are chasing all these things, you have to be very careful, because you might waste your time, right? I don't joke with my time, because time is so precious to me. So it's like, yeah, if I'm going to waste my time, then yeah, I will not even do it at all. And if I'm doing it, I have to put all my time into it, right? That's just the way it is. University of Alabama, right? Tuscaloosa, they said that if you have a GPA of at least 3.5, then they are going to waive the application fee for you. But if your GPA is below 3.5, they are not going to waive the application fee. You have to pay. What does that tell you? It means that the 3.5 thing is so important, right? If your GPA is below, there are so many things you don't have to be chasing. And no, no, you have to be focused on how things work. Okay, I don't know if you've watched my interview with Abdul, right? The Mastercard, the one I just recommended. Now, in that interview, Abdul talks about the fact that he applied to four schools in the US. Every one of them, he paid the application fee, right? He paid the application fee to every one of them in the US. And but then he got to higher university, funding, but then he got the Mastercard, and it's like, okay, the Mastercard is always better because the Mastercard is hard, but once you get it, it's better because they will take care of everything, including your flight. So then, yeah, so he went with that one, and he's in France, right? So those are some of the things that you can watch to learn from people's experiences. I don't, I like to interview people like that because they have inspiring stories. They make it clear to you that the process is not so easy like that. It's not easy at all. That's why you should not feel guilty if things haven't worked out. But then you have to now look at where you fell short, right, and start working on those things. That's just the way it is. So the process is not easy. If you don't get something, it doesn't mean you have to feel bad. No, 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 no. There is nothing to feel bad about. It's a competitive process. Like, so yeah, those are some of the things that you should take note of. Now I want to get into the chat and try to see what is here, and then okay, Isa is here, and then Benson is also here. Benson says, hi Shai, nice to catch you here. Benson, I think you had an interview. How did it go? How did it go? And also the interview, sometimes you will have an interview, like it's not like you have to be perfect. Like it doesn't mean you're, you have to sound eloquent, like no, no, it doesn't work like that. You can make mistakes, you can forget some things. When I interviewed when I interviewed Desmond, right? Desmond, uh when his supervisor asked him questions about certain things, he was like he doesn't know, right? And he didn't know. And it was okay, should I tell the truth or should I lie? This thing, yeah, sometimes you have to decide, right? But he told the truth that he didn't know, and that didn't go against him, right? But the point is that you don't have to be perfect to get something, right? You just have to show genuine interest. So when it comes to interviews like that, it's not like you should know everything, but then you should show willingness to learn, and you should show genuine interest in the program. That can make all the difference, right? Honesty helps a lot. So yeah, you can be honest and then show that you really want this thing, and and always, stuff like that. You have to do your research, right, before you actually do the interview, so that at least you have some knowledge about what is expected of you, right? So that's just the way it is. I hope to be able to answer all your questions. So if you have any question, just leave it in the chat. This is very important to me. I always want to make sure I answer all questions because yeah, I am seeing, am I live on two platforms or something? I'm just confused here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me go back and see some. You guys, please give me a second. It looks like I'm live. Why am I live twice? What is going on? Like, no, it should be one. Yeah, the software, I haven't really spent a lot of time on it, so it's like I'm always trying to figure out things. Okay, I think I've turned off one. I believe I've turned off one. It's just, did I? Huh? What am I doing with? Huh? Yeah, this software is always. I don't know. Hmm. Guys, I don't know what I did, but it looks like I have a little issue here. Okay, let me open this thing. See, okay, okay. I think this one is working. Okay, I think I okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's get into the comment section. Today I'm on Instagram, I believe. I hope, I don't know how that one is going by. And then on Facebook as well. Let's yeah, this thing can be very confusing, but anyways. Okay, let's go. Let's check YouTube, and so okay, like I said, Isa is here, and then they says we are waiting. Okay, Leslie, okay. Okay, nice. I think it's Dai. Says you're doing a great job. I hardly ignore any of your YouTube videos when it comes to study abroad. I've been well equipped for the journey, only following and watching your videos on YouTube. God bless you. Oh wow, that's sweet. Okay, Karen is here, and then Nana is here. Okay, Nana, it's been a while. Cornelius got 20K merit scholarships, but no departmental G. Deficit is 23K. Will it be good to go for a loan? So yeah, you know, The loan thing, I still have my position on the loan. Okay, I have an interview I did, right, which is yet to come out, and I interviewed somebody who has been in the US, who has spent, who first came to the US in 2004, which is like 21 years now, I believe. But then he came and then went back to Ghana, and then he came back. So yeah, since he got back, I think it's been about 17 years or so in the US. So I asked him about this question because this question came from Francisca. Uh, and so I asked him and about loan, his opinion, and he has an interesting take on that. And so you guys should watch that video when I release it. Probably I'll release it on Saturday because there are a few things that I need to do before So let's say next week Saturday morning, hopefully. So watch out for that video. So the loan thing, yeah, 20,000 loan is still a lot of money. Honestly, 20,000 loan is still a lot of money. If so, for me, if let's say you have a deficit of 10,000, yeah, of course you should come. That one. The other thing also is I don't know the Empower arrangement. I don't know if you can get the loan, use it to process your visa, and then cancel it. If you can cancel it when you arrive, right? That is if you have a small deficit and then you can cancel it. Yeah, because I just I don't know. I don't know if they give you that flexibility to be able to cancel the loan, right? Because if you sign something which binds you to the agreement in the loan, then it's like, okay, you have to pay the loan and the interest. That one I don't like it. But if there is a way you can, you know, exit the contract, then yeah, that one, yes, that will be fine. But 23K is a lot of money. The other thing is, right, if you're an international student on the I-20, they might say your cost of living is 10,000. When you come, given that you don't have, or you don't have everything covered, right? You can try to manage your expenses such that instead of spending 10,000 on your living expenses, you end up spending maybe 6,000. So then that will save you like 4,000, right? And that's why I'm saying if you have 10,000 deficits, then coming is not a big deal because at the end of the day, you can do some campus work, right, to make some money to support yourself. So that one, yes, because the tuition, it's very difficult to make money to pay the tuition, right? So if you can take care of the tuition, then it's just your living expenses, then yeah, you should come, right? So that's the loan thing. I have, you know a bad experience with credit card. Like, I am people used to come to me when it comes to credit card advice. I used to give people credit card advice because I used to be like, I know credit cards very well, right? I've used a lot of them. But then I made a lot of mistakes using my credit cards. Like, you know, I did a lot of charity work, and I messed up my. So it's like that experience always shapes the advice that I give to students because I look at myself, me who has been here for this long, and this mess. It's like an albatross, like hanging on my neck, and it's like I always, I am always looking at, okay, you guys, you probably, obviously you don't know what I know in terms of, living in the US. I have lived here for 8 years plus, talked to so many people, like all of that. So it's like if I look at myself and I look at, okay, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. That's the whole thing, right? So, and every advice always comes with some bias, right? Our background will always shape the way we talk to people, the way we advise people. So yeah, my recommendation is that there are a lot of funding opportunities in the US. It will just take work. So instead of me taking a loan of 10,000, that 10,000, the efforts that I'll use in future to pay off the $10,000 loan, I'll use that effort to, if take the GRE, do everything that I need to do. There are so many things that you can do to improve your application. I'll do every single one of them. Right. One of them is enrolling in my course to learn, a lot of things and all of that. And there are a list of so many schools so that you can actually go through a lot of schools and be able to know what is, what will be good for you and all these little things. So those are some of the things that are, yeah, the loan thing, please. It's dangerous. I'm scared for you guys. That's the thing. And also the probability of even being approved with a loan is very low, right? When you use a loan, there is a good chance you will not even be approved, right? There is a good chance. So that's why I'm always saying, guys, don't use the loan because yeah, the loan thing, it's hold on. I think I know why I was streaming on on my YouTube channel twice. So it's like the same stream like two times on my YouTube channel. I just realized the mistake I made. Okay, okay. I think next time I'll fix it. All right. So Joy says I have received my admission. Okay, my admission, and it came with 27,000 from Illinois Tech, Empower 15,000, remaining deficit of 14,000. Please help me with help. Please, will this help in the visa interview? So it can help depending on what's your job, and how you are able to express yourself. There are little things that can help you. The Illinois Tech, I, I have seen so many people applying to Illinois Tech. So many. I am in Illinois, and Illinois Tech is about 1 hour from where I am. Actually, it's very close to me. I've seen so many people going to Illinois Tech. I've never seen anybody with full funding from Illinois Tech. I've never seen anybody. All the people I see, small scholarships or maybe maximum 50%. I have not seen anybody who got full scholarship or full funding to Illinois Tech. So I don't know why students keep applying to that. One of the mistakes that students make is that when they see somebody going to one school, everybody wants to apply to that school because it's like, oh, this school, this school. Somebody will reach out to me and be like, oh, can you suggest some schools for me? Or I can you suggest scholarships for me? I'm like, no, 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 it doesn't work like that. No, no, no. The process, people people will put certain things and make it look like, oh, you just have to apply to this school. No, 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 it doesn't. The process is not like that. It doesn't work like that. That's why I want to teach you guys how the it works, so that you can take ownership of your life, right, and learn the process and do everything on your own. This is very important, right? So and the cost is very low, right? I think it's very low. My courses, I've made two courses, and they are $40. I think $40 is very cheap. Like if yeah, I think because someone yesterday I was speaking to somebody, the person wanted to do visa interview. The person wanted to my lights. The person wanted to do visa interview coaching or something with Algo Visa, and the person went and the person was like, "What?" That kind of thing. So over $500, right? So yeah, I I try to make it more affordable, like as affordable as possible. I don't know if anybody charges lower than that, but the goal is to make it as affordable. It cannot be free because it takes a lot of work, and also if you make it free, then how do you select people, right? Who is your favorite? Like those things, nah, it's not possible, right? All right. Um, so the Illinois Tech, yeah, it's not a school that I will really recommend in a way. It's not, yeah, because of schools like University of Bridgeport, Illinois Tech, University of New Haven. Just because of the offers that I've seen so many offers, and all of them, I don't see full funding. So I don't know why students keep applying to these schools, right? Illinois Tech, I don't know, probably the application fee is free or so, but yeah, I don't, yeah. And Illinois Tech is in Chicago, so the cost of living is about 55,000 or so. That's probably a lot. Samuel is at 40s, right? And 40s, the cost of attendance is about, is it 22,000 or so? So if sometimes you would have to, I've made a video, right? Like in the course, I talk about 7 things that you should consider when you're applying to schools. And yeah, the third thing I mentioned, I think, is the cost of attendance. Because yeah, sometimes you want to pay attention to the cost of, it's not the main thing, it's not the most important thing. Because after all, if you have a GA and then the cost of attendance is 80,000, then the GA covers everything, then you don't have to worry about the cost of attendance, right? But then in some instances, you want to focus on the cost of attendance as well. Maybe maximum 30,000, so that even if the funding is small, the deficit is going to be small. That one you can manage, right? But if you are chasing all these 50,000 in Chicago, you have to consider the location of the school. Sometimes, the location. If the school is in a big city, don't go there. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, you want to stay away from these big cities because the cost of living is high, right? So these are some of the things that you have to consider before you apply to a school. So Sadati Abdul says good work. Okay. Then Dave Davis says great job. Okay, you guys are praising me. Okay, Leslie says I was promised a fellowship after my admission interview, and I just received an email today indicating I submit my bank statement. Does this mean no fellowship for me? So the thing is that the schools, the way it works is that the international office will ask you for financial document to give you the I-20, but then your department may be the one giving you the fellowship, right? Or maybe the graduate school is the one giving you the fellowship. So it's like two different departments, right? So if you are asked for the I-20, you can actually wait to get a fellowship letter, because that is a proof of your finances, right? Whether it's a scholarship, whether it's an assistantship letter or something, you need that so that you can attach it to the form, the financial declaration form or something, to show that okay, you have funding from the department which is covering this. If there is a deficit, then you still have to have the bank statement, right? So that department may not know that you have a fellowship already because it's not been, formalized yet. So that could be the what is going on. So it doesn't mean you don't have a fellowship. No, no, no. Once they've told you they've given you fellowship, yes, you are surely going to get a fellowship, right? On rare occasions, but just believe that you are going to get a fellowship, and that is going to, yeah. It also depends on the fellowship amount, if there is a deficit or not, right? Some fellowships, like PhD fellowship, it will likely cover everything. Like some PhD fellowships, it depends on the fellowship. Some fellowships are like 2,000, right? Some fellowships will cover everything, so it depends, right? So find out more about the fellowship. You can reach out to your department about it. The fact that the international office has sent you an email, to provide proof of finances and stuff like that, and you would like to know, when you are going to receive your fellowship letter or something. All right, so good luck to you, Leslie. Joyce says I want to use my uncle's bank statement to cover the remaining deficit, and I want to ask if it could increase my chances of getting the visa approved. When you are using an uncle, sometimes you have to look at okay, so I'm thinking about two things right now. How much is your deficit? Right, that is one thing I'm thinking about. How much is your deficit? The second thing I'm thinking about is what is your uncle going to gain from that? Sometimes your uncle, yeah, there should be a reason why your uncle is sponsoring you. If you're working for your uncle, then you can tie your story to your service to your uncle. That can help you. So it depends. It's not uncle sponsorship. It's also if you have a huge deficit and it's your uncle, it can be difficult. I don't recommend uncle, because the other thing also is that sometimes people will say uncle, uncle, but in reality it's not uncle, and then they will come here and then they will struggle. I don't want students to come and struggle, right? So I will like it, if it's not true, why not put in the work? Those of you on TikTok, I'm sure you saw the thing I posted, right? And it was something, a shot from my interview with Abdul, right? Where I talked about my background. Yeah, my background, if you know my background, this is, yeah, this is but sometimes, you have to know where you come from and put in the work. It's not about trying to leave your country. Yes, we want to leave because, yeah, the country doesn't give us good opportunity. So we want to go to places where they will appreciate our talent and our efforts. Yes. But then you have to do it right, because there are people here in the US who are suffering more than people back home. Like a lot of people. Sometimes you cannot understand this unless you are here. Right. Try and speak to people who are already here. They will tell you some of these things. Right. So yeah. And we human beings, sometimes I want you guys to understand some of these things, right? We human beings, we always want to be liked. We don't want people to see that we are suffering. So we will post nice videos, nice pictures, so that everybody will be like, oh wow, he's chilling. No, 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 no. He's chilling to you, but inside his room he's crying, right? So I want you to understand that everybody wants to, appear attractive, appear nice, appear happy, but in reality, people are not as happy as you think. So please don't. When I come and I'm telling you, I can tell you some certain things, because yes, I am willing to tell you realities. Tell you things about things in the US. A lot of people have reached out. A lot of people reach out to me about their issues, and it is not for me to come and break down things, but I can tell you, a lot of it's not easy like that. So do the right thing and come. If it's your uncle, then fine, right? So Joseph says, hello, Shai. Please talk about these schools and programs that based on transcript evaluation on the last 30 on the last 60 credit hours of your undergraduate degree. So the way the undergraduate degree works is that the first 2 years is about 120 credits. The last 2 years, sorry, the first 2 years is about 60 credits. The last 2 years is about 60 credits. And so For some schools, the way they do it is that your first 2 years, sometimes it's like you are now getting to know the university, and maybe you had some struggles and stuff like that. But then the last 2 years, if you do well, it means that you are definitely intelligent, because the last 2 years courses are more difficult and are more related to what you are coming to do. And so if you do better in your last 2 years, it means that you are definitely intelligent. And so some schools will focus more on the last 2 years of your bachelor's degree. And it makes a lot of sense that they do that. So when you do evaluation, the last 60 credit hours have more weight because of what I've just said, right? They have more weight because it shows that you are definitely intelligent. And so that's why when you do evaluation and then your last 60 credit hours were better than your first 60 credit hours, you are going to, get a high GPA. So that's just the way it is. And the schools that require the evaluation, a lot of schools, when I was coming to the US, actually, most schools didn't require the evaluation. Was not a big deal. I did evaluation when I was coming in 2016, but evaluation was not a big deal that time. But now it's like I think a lot of schools are requiring it. I'm coming across a lot of schools, either they require it or they accept it, right? And on my channel, I've recommended a lot of schools, talked about some of them and all of that. So yeah, it is a work that you have to do. Sometimes I can tell you to do the work, but then in the course of doing the work, you'll actually discover certain things on your own, which will help you, right? So yeah, go through every single school and you can always verify whether they require evaluation or not. If you don't even know what to type at all, you can just type let's say ABC University transcript evaluation. Just type that into Google. Once you mention the name of the school and then transcript evaluation, you are going to get results that will tell you whether the school requires it, accepts it, or doesn't require it. So there are three things here, right? So you can find out, and it's really very simple. Um, okay. Bakari Ibrahim says, "What are the schools? When are schools likely to release decisions for fall 2025?" Most schools will probably release such decisions in March for graduate studies. For undergraduates, decisions come early because undergraduates have early decision, early action, and all of those things. Those ones are like in October, right? Those deadlines. And funding is usually based on those early deadlines. So they can make early decisions. Sometimes undergraduates in December, you can get a decision. Like if you are going to get a good funding, a good scholarship, a full scholarship, you can get decision by December or January. Those ones are early. But then with graduate students, some deadlines are even in March, right? Or even February. Yeah. So if a deadline is in February, then you have to wait after the deadline most of the time. S- if your application is very competitive, then you can get decision early, right? But if your application is okay, then they would have to wait a little bit. And most schools will not even look at the application at all until the deadline has closed before they will start reviewing it. So first of all, you have to wait until after the application deadline, and then you can, maybe 2 weeks after the deadline or something, right? If you've not heard from the school uh by the end of March, you have to reach out to find out, right? So, but there are some students who will get denial early. Denial early means that you have a lot of work to do. When you are denied early, maybe in January, you get a denial decision. Then it means your application was not competitive at all, in my opinion. So it means that for you, don't just apply. No, no, no. It means you have a lot of work to do. So go back and do your homework, your personal statement, your resume, all of these things. Start working on them. You cannot change your GPA. So what can you do? Maybe evaluation or maybe the GRE, right? GRE is not for everybody because sometimes maybe your level of intelligence is not up to the level where you can actually do all the GRE. So in that case, yeah, evaluation might actually be the best option for you, right? But evaluation too is not guaranteed that it will improve your GPA. So all these things, yeah, it's not easy, but at the end of the day, life is never easy. So yeah, you have to look at all options and try to see what you can do about your situation, right? Okay. Benson says, yes, I had my interview and it went well. Waiting for the next step. I have another one on Monday. Thanks for your tips. Your tips were helpful. Oh wow, nice. Good luck. Good luck. Nice, nice one. Okay. So Kehinde Steven is here. So it's like I know several Kehindes, you know. I know several, I think. I think I'm familiar with like three Kehindes, That's good to know. Okay. Maxai says, okay, good day, master. was asking if it's okay to talk about how my on-campus employment will be partially funding my cost of attendance if it's written in the I-20 during the interview. Yeah, if the employment amount is on your I-20, you can talk about it. But so when it comes to the interview, there is no one size fits all, right? Sometimes some things will work for some people, it might not work for other people. If I have funding on my I-20, if it's not a full GA, right? If it's not a full GA, I will not talk about the funding on my I-20. Okay, what I mean is, if let's say on my I-20, my cost of attendance is 40,000, I have funding of 10,000, I will not talk about the 10,000 funding. I'll rather talk about my deficit, how I'm going to finance my deficit, right? That, but if I have full funding, then I will let the VO know that yes, I have full funding, right? Or close to full funding. If I have like 30,000 out of 40,000, then I will talk about it. If I have at least 50% funding on my I-20, then I'll talk about that, right? But if I have less than that, I'll talk about my bank state, my sponsor. Because my idea here is that if you have a small scholarship and you are dwelling on the scholarship, it means you don't have the money. You are just so happy with the scholarship. But if you are claiming that you have the money, then talk about how you are going to finance your studies from your sponsor. That's my, the rationale behind, what I think about this. All right. So yeah, it is. So my employment, I will not talk about it, right? It depends on also the deficit, right? It depends on. So I hope you get the point. Okay, so okay, Max has just a deficit of 10K with a scholarship of 3K. You have a scholarship of 3K, on campus employment is 9K, and the cost of attendance is 22K. I will focus on my sponsor, my excuse me, I will focus on my sponsor. That's what I will do. I will focus on my sponsor. Okay, so the queen is here. Queen Raymond says, "Hi, Shai. I contacted my department chairperson after I got admission in January, and she responded that the GTA offer will be made later in the semester. When do you think is the right time to contact her again?" So, in the semester means, so that we are in the semester. So the semester will end in the by the end of in the middle of, let's say in the middle of May, right? For almost every school, by the middle of May, the semester should end. So in that case, I will reach out again in March, right? I will reach out again in March. That's what I will do. Okay. All right. Nana says, yeah, yeah, you can qualify for the loan and apply for the visa with it, but it won't be dispersed until you request for the money. So you can get the visa and cancel the loan after that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I think you can try it out and see. At the same time, you have to be careful of the deficit, right? Because if the deficit is huge and then you're not likely to cancel the loan, right? Because it's like, okay, you still need the money. But if the deficit is small, then you can cancel it and then switch to something else. Okay, then that makes sense. Okay, cool. That's good. Thank you. Samuel says, okay, hi Shai. Please can you elaborate on the undergraduate studies aiming for fully funded scholarship? If you're an undergraduate student, the process is really simple, right? There are so many schools in the US. There are some of them, only a few of them have what we call full scholarship. Only a few of them, right? Only a few of them have that. Most of them, they have merit-based scholarships, which are like maybe a quarter of your cost of attendance, so maybe like 10,000 out of 40,000. Those are small merit-based scholarships. But then there are some schools that give full scholarships. Those ones, sometimes they can have the name like provost scholarship or presidential scholarship. Like those ones are there, but those ones are based mainly on your SAT and all those things, right? And then there are some schools also that will give you the merit-based scholarships based on your SAT, and that one can be maybe 40,000 out of 50,000. But then within the same school, you can also apply for financial aid, for international students. That one too, not every school has that kind of thing. So then you can apply for the financial aid, and then that financial aid can actually cover the remaining 10,000, right? So it's like two scholarships. Some students will apply for three scholarships in the same school, but then the first scholarship is the most important one because that one has to cover a lot. Then you can get the other ones as well. For some schools, they will tell you that you can only apply for one scholarship. So once you apply for one and you get it, you cannot get the other scholarship. So every school is different. If you want a full scholarship, take the SAT and then do all. And I will propose that you should get at least 1400 1400, like in the SAT, if you want a full scholarship. And the GPA too should be at least 3.5, right? So that is the thing. If you cannot get that, then get your bachelor's degree, knowing that you want to study abroad, work so hard, and then get a good GPA. Then once you have a good GPA, it will be very, very easy for you to come here to do your masters and PhD and be fully funded. So that's what I will propose. Okay. Glenn Angel says, hello, sir. I got approved with partial tuition, 8K out of 16K total, but I still have a deficit of 27 as for your expenses. The school wants me to submit financial verification before they can activate your your students okay, you didn't finish, I guess, your students account or something. And also most other GA positions are asking me to apply using my student's email. So once you have admission, or even after submitting the application, it depends. Sometimes I think after submitting the application you can get a school email. They will tell you to create a school email, so you have to create that. And once you create that, you can use that to look for assistantship position. So yeah, but then your deficit, so which means that in total you have a deficit of uh 40 40 43,000, right? It looks like you have a deficit of 43,000. That's a lot of money. There's no campus job that is going to help you with that. So for you, you have to try and get a GA. The GA is going to make a big difference. So create the email address and then start applying for GAs. It's not going to be easy because those outside things, yeah, but you can only try. You never know, right? You never know. So you have to try and then get those ones, because those ones are the ones that you need. All right. I always want to answer every question, but I don't know if I'll be able to, because it looks like a lot of questions today. Okay. Okay. Hamza says, shy with the good vibes. Keep up the good work. Okay, so this one is from Instagram. Okay, Hamza. All right, so let's continue with the YouTube questions. Okay, Joy, you are welcome. And then yeah, so Glenn Angels, you say you don't know the way forward. So just watch the video from the beginning. I mentioned a lot of things, right? If things haven't worked out, just go back and then work on the application materials and try again and stuff like that. For now, try and get a GA. That's what your focus now. Get a GA. If you are not able to get a GA, which is fine, which is life, right? We are not all going to get it on our first attempt. That life doesn't work like that. Sometimes you have to do it first time, second time, and then it will work out on the third attempt. Yeah, it's just the way life is, right? And for me, I always look at Daniel's story is, yeah, because you look at Daniel, right? He had to do it 3 times before he got it. You know, and I think Hamza too. Hamza, whose comments I just read, I think Hamza did the first one and then he was denied, and then he went the second time, and that was when he reached out to me. I think so. I think Hamza, that was the second. Yeah, Hamza second time, and then he was approved, right? So there is nothing wrong with failing. If you don't fail, you can never improve. So yes, you have to do it again. If all your options don't work out, just do it again. It's life. One day you look back and you be like, oh wow, yeah, it's life, man. Like don't be hard on yourself. It's not your fault, right? All right. Hannah says, I received my I-20 and my class starts on August 18, but the date available on the visa appointment schedule is August 7. Please, what do you suggest I do? Hannah, your question is funny. You know, when you were typing your question, I'm sure you were worried. I'm worried, like 7th August. But I am laughing because you're worried about things you shouldn't be worried about, because the fact is that your appointment being on the available date being on 7th August, it's not a big deal. If you want, you can book it and you can get emergency appointment at some point, right? If another thing also you can do is wait, don't even book it, wait, because they will release dates. They will like June, April, May, June. They will release a lot of dates. April, May, June. They will release a lot of dates, right? And so what you have to do is every morning, when you wake up at 5 a.m., go and check every morning. You get it. You get a good date. So appointments right now, don't worry about it. And the other thing also is, I think when I called Juda's second interview was, I think her interview was in the middle of August or so, right? Yours is 7th, hers was, I think, middle of August, and she was approved and she came in, you know. And I think even Daniel too, I think his interview was late, and he went to Sierra Leone, and then they did everything quickly for him. And so you don't worry about it at all, at all, at all, at all. All right. So Chidima says, please talk about Northeastern University, Portland, Maine. Uh, okay, Northeastern. Okay, okay. I think I got confused. Okay, Northeastern in Northeastern in Massachusetts, right? Northeastern, and then okay, then Rocks Institute in Portland, Maine. Well, I don't know the Rocks Institute. I don't know much about that, but Northeastern, yeah, Northeastern in the state of Massachusetts, it has the most international students. I think there are about 21,000 international students at Northeastern. Northeastern, I don't recommend it because I've seen a lot of high 20s, but I don't see people with, you know, I want to see full funding before I will say, oh yes, because I see people with, like, 50% stuff, like, or even less than that. So it's like, okay, I don't know the funding there, I don't know how it works there, but I see a lot of, and also there are a lot of Indians and Chinese, and these people, they have the money, they can, take care of these things. So, especially the Chinese, they have the money. So like, you have to be very careful, of some of these things, right? So Northeastern, I don't know. And the thing is that, you know, when you ask me to talk about a particular school, it means that you don't understand the study abroad process. That's the thing. It means you don't understand the process. You just have to learn how the process works. You don't need anybody to tell you, oh, go to this school. Go. No, 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 no. All you need from somebody is for somebody to tell you about, to recommend schools. So maybe 20 schools. The person doesn't have to tell you anything about the 20 schools. No, no, no. You don't need that. All you need is, okay, this school, this school, this school. And normally, if you go on LinkedIn and then you see somebody in that school, then you can write down the name of the school. Or if I do live session and that school comes up, then you can write down the name of the school. Or if I interview somebody who applied to that school or who went to that school, then you can write down the name of the school. Oh, that's all you need. Then you have to take the school and then start doing the work on the school. That is which is something I've talked about in the course. So that is where you do the work if you want something good. And this work, nobody in the world can do it for you, unless the person is, your, I don't know, husband, wife, or something, or sister, brother, or mother, father, like a close relative. That is the only person who can do that kind of work for you, because it's a lot of work. And yeah, everybody else can give you directions. Somebody can review your personal statement for you, somebody can, but when it comes to the real work, which is identifying the right schools, you only need you need the techniques in exploring and in deciding. But then everything else, you have to do the work. That's what people will not tell you. But yeah. Perry says, can I use a dollar amount as bank statements? Yeah, you can do that. There is nothing wrong with it, but the bank statement is not even the most important thing. It's about, is it true? Can the person really do it? Sponsor you? All of it. How much is your deficit? Why is the person sponsoring you? Like, these are the things you should be thinking about. Okay. Okay. Joyce says, can you suggest some schools with full funding offer for me to look through? Every school in the US has funding. Every school in the US has funding. When it comes to the undergraduate schools, right? Some schools may not have good offers. Only a few schools have full scholarship. Only a few schools. But every undergraduate school will give you some scholarship. Every school will give you some amount of scholarship, but most of them may not be enough. So understand, every school has scholarship. When it comes to graduate studies, every school may have assistantship. Every school probably has assistantship. Every school, like, so long as the school has, graduate programs, they have assistantships. The only thing is that some programs in the school may not have assistantship. So you have to make sure your particular program has assistantship. That's the difference. But every school has something, right? So yeah, every school has funding. So when a question like this means you don't understand the process, enroll in the course so that you learn. Okay. Hi, Mel. Leslie, okay. You have sent numerous emails to your admission advisor even before receiving this, but no response. You are worried. Okay. Yeah. If you send emails, and they don't reply, it's not a big deal. Just, don't be sending it too frequently, right? Just wait. You send one, wait maybe a month before you send again, because this is not a time to be sending too many emails. We are in February. Let's wait until we get to March, then you can. Don't worry. Like, if you are worried, what can you do? Nothing, right? So please don't be worried about these things. Okay. um Beauty says my friend's GRE was cancelled because she scored so high. Considering her last results time frame, they said it was meant to take her up to a year. What will she do? Beauty, I don't know your friend. I don't know whether the story is true, but it doesn't sound true to me. The thing about we is that sometimes people will say things, but you never know whether they are telling the truth or not, right? But I don't see why they will cancel somebody's GRE score because they scored too high. No, no, I don't think so. Maybe the person is not saying the whole story. It's not telling the whole story. So I don't know. I don't know about that. George says concerning funding, in which month do schools release such? Yeah, I think I've answered this already. Raymond says, hello, Shai. Okay, Raymond from Ghana. Mail says, I'm planning to enter into a Master of Landscape Architecture. Okay, good luck. Robert says, hi, Shai. Please, can a transcript evaluation of 3.39 GPA gain a scholarship? So, the other thing is that if you say 3.39, is it over? Is it over 5.0 or 4.0? Because I don't know. And I've already explained the way the transcript evaluation works, right? So John says, hi Shai, I know you got into Ohio University's masters in economics with funding. Was there any deficit? If yes, how did you cover it? So at the time I was going to Ohio University, I I made a video in my visa interview coaching course, and I use my I-20, like the financial aspect. Okay, the video is on YouTube. Actually, I posted that video on YouTube about the explanation of the I-20, right? I-20, I think I that video. So you see the financial aspect, right? It is my I-20, my I-20 when I was coming. That's why you can see the I-20 is very old like that. So it was for my original I-20 when I was coming. The amount there, you can see that the cost of attendance, and then the uh, the cost of attendance and then the funding are the same. So there was no deficit. It was about, at the time, 32,000 or so. So I didn't have any deficit. Okay. Um. So, and then Mill says I'm planning to enter into a master. Okay. What's the approach? What's the best way to approach this process? So Mel, you probably want to enroll in the course so that you learn everything from scratch. You learn everything and take control of your life so that nobody will come and suggest full scholarship. And no, 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 you don't need all those things. You need to know how the process works, right? And then you become a master of it, right? So, and you can also watch some of the live sessions that we've done, right? Karen, the Nakia, all these people, right? They've been following live sessions and now they've learned how it is, right? Some people need more help, and also there is more to the course, and also then yeah. um, okay. Leave the dream says hello, Shy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Calling me by my full name. What do you think about sending emails to professor seeking to work under their research roof after submitting your application a week later? So the thing is that when it depends on the program. Does your program require you to have a supervisor? In Canada, the schools require you, most of the programs will require you to have a supervisor. In the US, that is not the case. In the US, they so in my study abroad course, right at the beginning of the course, after in one of the first videos, I said that applying to a school is like applying for a job, right? When you want to get a job, what you do is you you have to look at the application, and then look at the requirements of the application. So what is that requirement? Normally a resume and then a CV, and then you fill the application. It's the same with school applications. Those are the things. So what to for you to get a job, it will depend on your resume and then your cover letter, how good they are. That's all. So when it comes to school applications, unless the school tells you you need a supervisor, you don't need a supervisor. Now when it comes to graduate school, sometimes a lot of websites, they don't put all the information there, so you can get confused. In that case, you need to find out more about certain things, maybe GRE requirements or maybe something, right? Maybe funding information you want to find out from the school, so then you can send cold emails. But then also another thing is that there are optional things that you can do, which in some cases they can help you, right? And one of them is reaching out, right? So yeah, you might want to establish a rapport with the coordinator in a way. So you want to express your interest, not necessarily finding out about whether they require something, but then you want to establish a rapport. Sometimes it can be nice, right? But it doesn't mean if somebody has a better application than you are going to be selected over that person. No, no, no. But at least it can help in some instances, right? That you reach out to the person that, oh, you have seen this program and you love it because this area is something you want to do or something you did during your undergraduate studies, and so you are interested in the program and you want to go ahead and apply, but you want to seek their opinion. Given your background, will you be do they does he think you are a good fit for something like that? Just a question to, if you send it nicely and you make him feel important. People like people who praise them. We I don't know, we like flattery, like people flattering us. So if you send a good email like that, yeah, the person is likely to respond to you, and once you establish the rapport, the person is more likely to respond to your future email. So that is one thing, right? And because of so based on your question, there is nothing wrong with reaching out after you have submitted application. You can reach out and say, oh, Professor this, I have submitted my application to this, and uh, is there anything that you think I need to do to get myself prepared, ready for the program? Or something? In a way, like, I mean, I know it's funny, but yeah, something like that, right? Maybe there's a particular, so let's say economics, right? Is there a particular software that you think learning will, you can talk about what you already know. I know the software. Do you think the software will help me excel in the program? Are there certain things that I need to know about the program? Or maybe I like the works of Professor This. Do you think it's a good idea for me to reach out to him and ask him about so those are emails, right? If you send emails like this, everybody wants to take you seriously, right? So yeah, there's nothing wrong with sending emails. I just don't want students being too worried about this cold email thing. Like, you send an email and you don't get any reply. I don't want you to be hard on yourself and feel like, oh, it's over. No, that's why sometimes not like I'm never against cold emails, right? I've sent cold emails myself and all of that, especially after my admission, and also before application. Those are the times that I sent cold emails after admission and waiting on funding. Not to high university, no, high university, it was straightforward. But I mean, when I was going to do my PhD, because I had some issues, right? And then also, before I applied to, for my PhD, I wanted to find out certain things. So those are the good emails that you send. Yeah, but you can always send emails. Just make sure your grammar makes sense, because if somebody's reading something and it doesn't make sense, like, you cannot write this English and then want to be in our program. So make sure you send emails which are very clear, and you make sure you express yourself very well. Okay. All right. Where are we? Okay. Okay. Hi, Joshua. Faustina. Hi, Shai. Please, if you have a deficit of 6,000, please, is it advisable to use your own bank account for the statement, or your brother's own? Which one? I mean, if you are working and let's say you are working, and you've saved some money, which is 6,000. There's nothing wrong. Faustina, I think if you have a deficit of 6,000, you have a good chance of being approved. If you are working and you are using your own, yeah, you can use that, and then say that your brother is also going to sponsor you for anything else that comes up. So it's more like we'll cover anything that comes up or something. That kind of. I hope you get the point. So yeah. So just if you have the money, just say, yeah, from your work, from your job, right? That even helps you. The fact that you are working and your job is good enough for you to save that much. That actually helps, right? So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It looks like I have a low battery, so I don't know if this thing will end um suddenly, but we'll see. Okay. So Live Your Dream says also it's a GP of 3 points. 3.68 out of 4, strong enough to earn a GA. Of course, 3.68, that's a good GPA. Okay, that's a good GPA. You have a very, very good chance. Okay. Ebenezer says, how can the GRE help you with getting a GA in Ohio University, and what score should you aim at? Well, Ohio University, most of the programs don't require a GRE. Most of the programs. So it depends on your program if GRE is a requirement, right? So um the GRE is a standardized exam, right? In a way, they look at it as objective in the sense that everybody in the whole world takes the same exam. So it's like there is no professor manipulating anything, unlike our GPA, which is very subjective. So that is why if you have a good GRE score and then your GPA meets the minimum requirements, you are more likely to get good funding. So yeah, a GRE, even if the school doesn't require it, at Ohio University, they say that GRE is not required, but it is recommended. Sorry, I don't know what's going on in my throat. So yeah, um, the GRE is recommended for the economics program, right? It is recommended. So which means that if somebody has it and the GPA is maybe 3.0, the person might have a good chance, right? So the GRE, it also depends on how good the GRE is. If I have a GPA of 3.0, my GRE is maybe 320. You have a GPA of 3.5. You don't have the GRE. They will choose me over you easily. That's just the way it is. So uh there is Hilton here, Hilton Boatin. So it's like you've sent a lot of messages, but for some reasons the stream is not allowing me to see your message. So it's like, I don't know, maybe it is regarding your message as offensive or something. I don't see it, so I don't know what's going on. You've sent a lot of messages and all of them, they were deleted. So I don't know. Yeah. Albert says, please, is it possible to get your I-20 and secure an interview date while waiting for a GA? Yeah. For you to get an I-20, you have to show proof of funds, right? A bank statement that okay, you can fund your studies. Yeah. But I don't know if you want, if that is a good idea, because I will not do that. But everybody's life is different. But I will not do that. Okay. I would rather wait because you will always get a date. You will always get a date. Right? Always. So Beauty says we have the proof, sir. Yeah, okay, cool. Uh okay, Beauty, if I remember, okay, your friend's GRE was cancelled. Yeah, so I don't know why. Maybe the person, I don't know. This is something you can actually escalate, right? Yeah, I mean it's not, it's wrong. You can actually, I don't know, make it a legal case, because why would they do that? It doesn't make sense that they should cancel it. So yeah, if I were you, I would not accept it, because it's not fair. It shouldn't be like that, right? Unless maybe they suspect some cheating. So in that case, you have to prove that you didn't cheat. That's all. John says, okay, John, Live the Dream says, no, it doesn't. I am applying to University of Nevada, Reno, epidemiology. By then, I want to be considered for. Yeah, so Live the Dream. I think your GPA, you had a high GPA like that. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. Dr. Doom says, please, if you have admission and you apply for a graduate assistantship, do you wait for the results, or GA before applying for the I-20? Yeah, you have to wait for the GA. Wait for the GA decision, right? There is time. I keep telling you guys that there is time. And I understand you guys, because you guys are new, maybe new to the process. And so, yeah, but I can tell you that April, May, June, they will release a lot of dates. So yeah, don't worry yet. You know, don't worry, you are still going to get a date, right? All right. Okay. Live the Dream is calling me doctor. I'm not a doctor yet. Right? I'm a candidate, but I'm not a doctor yet. I'm still, I still, the thing is that I finished my research paper a year ago, and I haven't even started the second one, because I don't know. I started this YouTube thing and it takes all my time, to be honest. So, but then I am doing certain things which will free up some time for me. So, this summer, I think I should be. That's why I've created these courses, so that I don't have to do all this directing, because it's like my time. I don't have time at all. Like it's just, it's not easy. So yeah, so the state abroad course, yeah, there are a few finishing touches that I need to do, but yeah. So it's like once I'm done with everything, and even the visa interview, there are still few things I need to do. So once I'm done with these things, then it's like okay, I have free time to, work on my research. So I'm not a doctor yet, but yeah, thanks. Let's see. Okay, Farm Up says, please help me. Any short tip for admission interview? Is it a good indication for admission? Admission. Okay, so you have admission, then you are going for the interview. So yeah, the thing is that schools will, let's say maybe 100 people applied to do sociology, then the school will admit maybe 10 people, and then out of the 10 people the school has money to support 5 people. So the interview is going to be among 10 people. So then you have to go and prove yourself that you deserve it. So it's not guaranteed yet, but it's a good chance. It means that you've been chosen ahead of so many people. So now you have work to do to go and prove to them that you should be given the funding, right? So yeah. Ebenezer says the GRE score is 329, GPA is 3.7 for information and telecommunications at Ohio University. Ebenezer, yeah, you get the program. That's my program, my second master's, right? Yeah, you get into it. You surely get into it. Okay. So yeah, good luck to you. Pixel says, is it possible to receive admission decision on a weekend? I mean, you can receive admission decision anytime, right? I mean, it depends. I mean, normally it should be during the week, but yeah, why not? Right, why not? Okay, Raymond, you're welcome. Firstly, if I say my brother will cover any cost that come, do I have to show his bank statement to? No, you have to show the bank statement that takes care of your deficit, which is your bank statement. And then that one is more like a statement, right? Uh, a statement. If they ask you, oh, you just say, oh, you brought yours because yours is the one covering the deficit, but yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's about how you express yourself. If you express it and then you are sounding truthful, yeah, of course, you should be fine. All right. Mail says, how do I enroll in the coaching course? Yeah, so the course is just check the link in the description. I think I have one link in on all my pages. I think so. That one link will lead you to all other links, right? So you see coaching and uh, coaching and courses or something, and then so once you click on it, it will show you the course, right? Kingsley says, for those going to University of Nevada, have they started giving admission? Okay. Mohammed says, good day. Is it a red flag to book for your visa appointment in April, and your class starts in August? There is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Emmanuel says, can you throw more light on the difference between the state and federal support to education sector by the government? Um, well, so um, the way the U.S. system works is that the federal government, so the US has a federal system, right? My voice. The US system has a federal system. So then there is the federal government, there is the state government, and then there is the local government. So and at all levels they collect taxes. So there's the federal government. So when you earn money, I think the federal government will collect income taxes, and then the state government will collect taxes on food, on expenses and stuff like that, and then the local government will collect taxes on property rights and stuff like that, like if you own a house, so property, like those things. So I think those are, but then it's not like the same or like throughout, but then they are it depends on, every state has their own laws. So yeah, it depends on the state, but this should give you some idea, right? That the federal government is looking for your income, is taking money from your income taxes. The state is taking money from like the sales tax, right? When you buy something, the tax. And then the local government is taking money from your properties, right? So yeah, and so the states decide on how much to distribute to education. Every state is different. Some states will give some schools more money and all of that, and those monies, they go to the public universities and public schools. And also the government, the federal government will also decide if there is an education policy or education program they want to do, then they can use those federal funds. They know what. So it depends. Every state, the US system is very complicated because every state is different. Every state, I when I talk with Dr. Noah, right, on the tax. So I've made a video about the tax, which I'll post. The video is not done, but probably by next Saturday, right? On if you are an international student and you wanna if you have questions about the taxes and stuff like that. So yeah, so I interviewed him because he's the one who has been filing my taxes since I've been in the US. So yeah, um I asked him about I forgot to myself. I forgot to what I was going to say about so I asked him about huh I forgotten what I was going to say. It's just I think I'm tired. So yeah, I think I'm tired. I was going to say something about as soon as I mentioned the interview, I forgot what I was going to say. What was it? What did Noah say? He said huh, I don't remember. I'm trying to, but no, it is what it is. Okay. So where was I? Okay, so I was talking about the state and okay. Yeah, so every state is different. Okay, I think I remember. So Noah was talking about the fact that uh there was somebody who made somebody file his taxes for him, and the tax, so it's like the person is working in New Jersey, but then the person lives in New Jersey but works in New York. So it's like that kind of thing. Filing is very complicated because it's like one state, working in one state and then living in another state. It wouldn't have been difficult if the states were the same, if they did everything the same, but no, they are two different states and they have different laws and different percentages and all of that. So the US system is very complicated, right? Very, very complicated. So yeah, so I think it's good I've remembered. All right. um Methane says, I got admissions and applying for assistantship positions. Okay, I got admissions and applying for graduate assistantship position is my issues. When applying for various positions, do I need to craft my CV to suit the current position, or I should use the old CV? No, 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 no. If you're applying for let's say a job in the international office, you have to highlight your background, things about you which will make you suitable for that position. So yeah, you have to get a new CV, modify your current CV and then use it to apply. That's just the way it is. Glenn says, I've used an IE email to create an account on career services, but I still can't get posting related to GA shifts. Yeah, I think last week I said something like that because NIU getting positions outside, it's not easy like that. There are people here, as soon as they see it, they might even be chasing it that over you. And those people, they might have an advantage over you and all that. NIU is better to get it from the department. Right. But I don't know, you can still sometimes maybe they've not posted it yet, right? Maybe they've already given out all those assistantships. So you have to keep checking, maybe at the end of the semester or something, right? Maybe. So yeah, you just have to keep checking. Dr. Doom says, also, what type of CV do you submit for GA? Is it regular work? A GA is a position, it's a job. So you have to submit a CV which will make you look like the ideal candidate for the position. So, that is just the way it is. Okay, Faustina, you're welcome. Robert, please can a transcript evaluation of, yeah, of course, your 3.39, you don't have to evaluate your transcript unless you want to apply to certain schools that require it. But your GPA, you probably don't have to evaluate your transcript, right? With your GPA, if you want to do something extra, take the GRE. Not really. But evaluation, it depends, right? I've explained how the evaluation works. So yeah, you can look at you can go through your transcript and then you can tell whether it's going to increase or not. You can actually tell, right? George says, program director. Yeah, your question, yeah, it's not clear. Anytime I ask him, he keeps saying the college hasn't released the funds yet. I want to know when colleges release funds to departments. Wrong question. Every department is different. Every school is different. Everything is different. It's not every state is different. Every county is different. US, everything is different. So it's not like one size fits all. No, no, no. If they've not released it, what can you do about it? If I tell you, okay, they release it tomorrow, what will you do? Nothing. So just wait, okay? All right. Um. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to make sure. Okay. Where are we? So Dave says, Glenn says, should I take every element on the industry so that everything in Illinois came up? I don't understand you, Glenn. I don't understand the question. Dave says, Shai, what does it mean to be invited for a prestigious scholarship luncheon after application and interview? Please, is it a good sign? Everything is, so long as the school wants to involve you in anything, it's a good sign. Okay, just hope for the best. Don't worry at all. Okay, just hope that it's a good sign. And yeah, that's just the way it is. Okay, Emmanuel says, thanks for explaining. Okay, you're welcome. Okay. Pixel says I applied to Marquette University for PhD. They created a student portal for me and student email, but no admission decision yet. Can this be a sign that I might be accepted? No, no, no. This one has nothing to do with most schools. As soon as you submit the application, they can actually let you get an email, school email, right? So that doesn't say anything. So yeah, Momeni, it's been a while actually. So, guys, it's been nice having you around. I really appreciate your time, and I hope I've been able to answer all your questions. I think I answered all the questions, so that's a good thing. And yeah, so tomorrow we have a mock session. If I skipped your question, which happens sometimes, just ask it again tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a mock session. So yeah, thanks so much. I really appreciate your time, and yeah, I hope you enjoy your weekend. All right. Bye bye for now. Okay.